In the year 2045, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. The skies darkened as massive alien ships descended upon Earth, their sleek, metallic forms casting ominous shadows over our cities. Panic gripped the planet as world leaders scrambled to respond to this unprecedented threat. But the aliens didn't come to wage war with weapons of mass destruction. No, they came with a proposition that would determine the fate of our world. The extraterrestrial visitors, calling themselves the Zorgans, demanded a trial by combat. They sought to prove their superiority over humanity in the most primal way possible, through hand-to-hand combat. Their leader, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple limbs, declared that if their champion could defeat Earth's mightiest warrior, our planet would become their new colony. As nations debated and militaries mobilized, an unlikely hero stepped forward. Maximus, the Destroyer Johnson, the reigning UFC heavyweight champion, volunteered to face the alien threat. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing 265 pounds of pure muscle, Maximus was a force to be reckoned with in the octagon. But could his skills translate to an interstellar bout? The world watched with bated breath as Maximus approached the alien mothership. His determined stride and unflinching gaze betrayed no fear, even as he was dwarfed by the colossal spacecraft. The Zorgan leader emerged, flanked by guards wielding exotic weaponry. Maximus, clad in his signature black and gold fight shorts, stood his ground. "I accept your challenge," Maximus declared, his voice echoing across the stunned silence. "Name your champion, and let's settle this like warriors." The alien leader's multifaceted eyes seemed to glimmer with amusement. With a gesture, a hatch opened in the ship's hull, and out stepped the Zorgan champion. The creature was a sight to behold. Nearly 8 feet tall, with 4 muscular arms, an exoskeleton that shimmered like polished obsidian, and a head adorned with sharp, bony protrusions. Its mandibles clicked menacingly as it sized up the human before it. Maximus, to his credit, didn't flinch. He had faced fearsome opponents before, but nothing quite like this. Yet, in his mind, the stakes were clear. This wasn't just another title defense. This was a fight for the very future of humanity. He knew he carried the hopes and dreams of billions on his shoulders. As the two champions squared off, a makeshift arena was hastily constructed around them. The rules were simple: no weapons, no outside interference, and the fight would continue until one combatant could no longer stand. The fate of Earth hung in the balance as Maximus and the alien warriors circled each other, each looking for an opening. The alien made the first move, its 4 arms lashing out in a blur of motion. Maximus ducked and weaved, his years of training kicking in as he avoided the onslaught. The crowd gasped as one of the alien's fists grazed Maximus's cheek, drawing blood. But the champion was undeterred. He had weathered worse storms in the octagon. Maximus retaliated with a lightning-fast combination, his fists finding their mark on the alien's midsection. To everyone's surprise, the creature staggered back, clearly affected by the human strength. A glimmer of hope sparked in the hearts of the onlookers. Maybe, just maybe, humanity stood a chance. As the fight raged on, it became clear that this was no ordinary bout. The alien's superior strength and extra limbs gave it a significant advantage, but Maximus's technique and indomitable spirit kept him in the game. For every blow the alien landed, Maximus returned too. The human's face was a mess of cuts and bruises, but his eyes burned with determination. Hours passed, and still, neither combatant would yield. The alien's movements began to slow, its initial confidence giving way to frustration. Maximus, drawing on reserves of strength he didn't know he possessed, pressed his advantage. With a roar that seemed to shake the very earth, he launched into a flurry of punches and kicks that drove the alien back. The crowd held its collective breath as Maximus executed a perfect takedown, slamming the alien onto its back. Before the creature could recover, the human champion locked in a chokehold, using all 4 of the alien's arms against it. The Zorgan thrashed and struggled, but Maximus's grip was unbreakable. Seconds ticked by like hours as the alien's struggles grew weaker. And then, finally it happened. The Zorgan champion tapped out, conceding defeat to the human warrior. A deafening cheer erupted from the crowd as Maximus released his hold and stood tall, battered but victorious. The alien leader approached, its demeanor now one of respect rather than condescension. "You have proven the strength of your species," it declared. "We will honor our agreement and leave your world in peace." As the alien ships departed, leaving Earth's skies clear once more, Maximus, the destroyer Johnson, stood as a symbol of human perseverance and courage. He had faced the unknown, battled against impossible odds, and emerged triumphant. In that moment, he wasn't just a UFC champion. He was Earth's champion, the defender of humanity. The story of the intergalactic showdown would be told for generations to come, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human race. And as for Maximus, well, let's just say his next UFC title defense seemed a lot less daunting in comparison. As the dust settled and the alien ships vanished into the cosmos, Earth found itself thrust into a new era. Maximus, the destroyer Johnson, once merely a celebrated athlete, now stood as a global icon, a symbol of humanity's resilience and potential. The world had changed overnight, and with it, the perception of our place in the universe. In the weeks following the intergalactic showdown, Maximus became the most sought-after individual on the planet. World leaders clamored for his counsel, scientists yearned to study his physiology, and the public couldn't get enough of their newfound hero. But for Maximus, the weight of his victory was both a blessing and a burden. As he recovered from his injuries, Maximus found himself grappling with a profound sense of purpose. He had tasted something beyond the glory of the octagon. He had fought for the very survival of his species. How could he return to the world of professional sports after such an experience? The UFC, recognizing the unprecedented nature of the situation, granted Maximus an indefinite leave of absence. In his place, they established an intergalactic championship division, inspired by the alien encounter. Fighters from around the world flocked to this new category, each hoping to prove themselves worthy successors to Earth's champion. Meanwhile, governments worldwide began pouring resources into space exploration and defense programs. The realization that we were not alone in the universe, and that other species might pose existential threats, sparked a new space race. Maximus was frequently consulted on these initiatives, his first-hand experience with alien physiology proving invaluable. But it wasn't just Earth's defenses that were evolving. The aftermath of the alien encounter had a profound impact on human society. Old conflicts and petty rivalries seemed insignificant in the face of potential cosmic threats. A new sense of global unity emerged, with nations setting aside their differences to work towards common goals. Maximus found himself at the center of this cultural shift. He began traveling the world, not as a fighter, but as an ambassador for human potential. His speeches drew massive crowds, inspiring people to push beyond their perceived limitations. "If I could face down an alien threat," he would say, "imagine what we could achieve if we all worked together." As months turned into years, Earth continued to change. Advances in technology, spurred by insights gained from the alien encounter, accelerated at an unprecedented rate. Scientists made breakthroughs in fields ranging from medicine to propulsion systems, each discovery bringing humanity closer to the stars. Maximus, ever the athlete, didn't neglect his training. But now his workouts took on a different purpose. He worked with top scientists and martial artists to develop a new fighting style, one that incorporated lessons learned from his alien bout. This cosmic combat system, as it came to be known, emphasized adaptability and leveraging human strengths against potentially superior opponents. 5 years after the fateful encounter, Earth launched its first interstellar expedition. The ship, fittingly named Maximus I, carried a crew of Earth's finest, scientists, diplomats, and yes, fighters trained in cosmic combat. Their mission: to seek out other civilizations and establish peaceful contact. As the ship prepared for launch, Maximus stood before the crew, his once youthful face now bearing the wisdom of his experiences. "You carry with you the hopes and dreams of our entire planet," he told them. "Remember, it's not just about physical strength. It's about the strength of the human spirit, our creativity, our adaptability, our unwavering determination. That's what allowed us to prevail, and that's what will guide us among the stars." The launch was a global event, watched by billions around the world. As Maximus I rose into the sky, propelled by technology born from humanity's brush with alien life, a new chapter in human history began. Earth was no longer just our home, it was our starting point. Back on Earth, Maximus returned to the UFC for one final fight. But this time, it wasn't about defending a title or proving his dominance. It was a celebration of how far humanity had come, and a reminder of the incredible journey that had started with one man's willingness to stand up against the unknown. As Maximus stepped into the octagon that night, the cheers of the crowd were deafening. But in his mind, he heard something else. The collective voice of humanity, united in its quest to reach for the stars. He had once fought to defend Earth. Now, he and all of humanity were fighting to claim their place in the cosmos. The bell rang, and as Maximus faced his opponent, he couldn't help but smile. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew one thing for certain: humanity was ready. As Maximus's final fight concluded, the world watched in awe as he gracefully bowed out of professional combat. But this was far from the end of his journey. The UFC champion turned cosmic hero found himself at the forefront of a new initiative, the Intergalactic Defense Force, IDF. The IDF, a global organization dedicated to preparing humanity for potential extraterrestrial threats, recruited Maximus as its chief combat instructor. His unique experience and newly developed cosmic combat system became the foundation for training Earth's first line of defense against alien incursions. Meanwhile, the Maximus I expedition made its first contact with an alien civilization. The Ethonians, a peaceful race of energy beings, were fascinated by humanity's rapid advancement. They shared knowledge of cosmic phenomena and offered to establish a cultural exchange program. Earth's leaders, mindful of past encounters, approached the offer with cautious optimism. Back on Earth, Maximus's influence continued to grow. He established the Cosmic Combat Academy, a state-of-the-art facility where the best fighters from around the world came to train. The academy wasn't just about physical combat. It incorporated lessons in xenobiology, advanced physics, and cosmic diplomacy. Graduates of the academy became highly sought after for both Earth-based defense forces and interstellar missions. As Earth's presence in the galaxy expanded, so did the challenges it faced. Not all alien encounters were as peaceful as the Ethonians. The Draconis Confederacy, a militant species from a distant star system, saw humanity's rapid advancement as a threat. Tensions rose as Draconian ships began patrolling the edges of Earth's newly established colonial systems. Maximus, now in his 50s but still in peak physical condition thanks to advanced medical treatments, found himself once again thrust into the role of humanity's champion. The Draconis Confederacy, having heard of his legendary battle against the Zorgans, challenged Earth to a series of one-on-one combat trials to determine territorial rights. The United Earth Council, the governing body that had formed in the wake of the first alien encounter, turned to Maximus for guidance. Despite the risks, he advocated for accepting the challenge. "We've come too far to back down now," he declared in a global address. "We'll face this threat as we did before, with courage, skill, and the indomitable human spirit." The combat trials were set to take place on a neutral planet, observed by representatives from various galactic civilizations. Earth sent a team of 5 champions, led by Maximus himself. The others were graduates of his Cosmic Combat Academy, each specializing in different forms of combat to counter the varied Draconian warriors. As the trials began, it became clear that the Draconians were formidable opponents. Their warriors were enhanced with cybernetic implants and possessed natural abilities that seemed almost magical to human observers. Yet, the Earth team held their ground, employing strategies that combined their cosmic combat training with uniquely human ingenuity. Maximus, despite his age, moved with the grace and power that had made him a legend. His bout against the Draconian champion, a towering reptilian creature with plasma-charged claws, became the stuff of galactic legend. For hours they fought, neither willing to yield, their combat a dance of raw power and tactical brilliance. As the fight wore on, Maximus found himself drawing not just on his physical training, but on everything he had learned about the cosmos in the years since his first alien encounter. He analyzed his opponent's movements, identifying patterns that corresponded to the Draconians' evolutionary history. With this insight, He began to anticipate and counter moves that had initially seemed unpredictable. In the final moments of the bout, Maximus executed a maneuver that combined a traditional Earth martial arts technique with principles of zero-gravity combat he had learned from the Ethonians. The Draconian champion, caught off guard by this fusion of fighting styles, finally fell. The Earth team's victory in the trials sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Humanity, once seen as a fledgling species, had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. The Draconis Confederacy, honoring the terms of the challenge, withdrew their forces and opened diplomatic channels with Earth. As news of the victory spread across human-controlled space, celebrations erupted on Earth and its colonies. Maximus, battered but unbowed, addressed the galaxy from the neutral planet. "This victory belongs not just to our team, but to all of humanity," he declared. "It's a testament to our ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow. We came to the stars as explorers and learners, but we've shown that we can also be defenders and peacekeepers when necessary." The aftermath of the Draconian trials marked a turning point in Earth's galactic standing. Other civilizations, impressed by humanity's prowess and diplomatic skills, began seeking alliances. The United Earth Council found itself navigating complex interstellar politics, with Maximus often serving as a key advisor and ambassador. As Earth's influence grew, so did the responsibilities that came with it. The next challenge for humanity would be to balance its expanding power with the wisdom to use it justly. And as always, at the forefront of this new frontier stood Maximus, no longer just a fighter, but a symbol of humanity's potential in the vast cosmic arena. The intergalactic renaissance. Years after humanity's victory in the Draconian trials, the realization dawned that survival in the cosmos required more than just courage and ingenuity. The galaxy was vast, teeming with civilizations that could rival or surpass Earth in physical prowess, technological sophistication, and evolutionary adaptations. The United Earth Council, now a unified governing body for the planet and its colonies, declared a bold new directive. Humanity would not merely adapt to survive, but would evolve to dominate. Maximus Johnson, now a revered elder statesman of Earth's interstellar ambitions, stood before an assembly of scientists, military leaders, and global dignitaries. His voice carried the weight of decades of triumphs and sacrifices. "We have proven our spirit is indomitable," he began. "But spirit alone will not protect us from what lies beyond the stars. If we are to thrive, we must become more than we are today. We must become superhuman." The directive set off a cascade of initiatives that transformed every facet of human society. Billions of dollars were funneled into research programs aimed at enhancing human capabilities. The fields of genetic engineering, biomechanics, and neurotechnology exploded with innovation. Laboratories across Earth and its colonies raced to unlock the secrets of human potential. The first breakthroughs came in physical augmentation. Scientists developed gene editing techniques that enhanced muscle density, bone strength, and cardiovascular efficiency. These modifications allowed humans to compete with alien species whose evolutionary paths had granted them natural advantages. Soldiers trained in these enhancements became known as the Vanguard Corps, humanity's first line of defense against extraterrestrial threats. But physical strength was only part of the equation. Researchers delved into cognitive enhancements, creating neural implants that expanded memory capacity, accelerated learning, and improved decision-making under stress. These neural ascendants were capable of processing information at speeds that rivaled advanced AI systems. Nutrition also became a cornerstone of human evolution. Drawing on emerging research into anti-inflammatory diets and metabolic optimization, scientists developed tailored regimens to maximize physical performance and mental acuity. Entire industries arose around personalized nutrition plans, ensuring that every individual could achieve peak health. Maximus himself underwent many of these enhancements, becoming a living symbol of humanity's transformation. Though his body bore the scars of countless battles, his augmented frame moved with the vigor of a man half his age. His mind, sharpened by neural implants, became a repository of strategies and wisdom that guided Earth's expansion into the stars. As humanity grew stronger, so too did its ambitions. Colonies on Mars and Europa became thriving hubs of research and development. The Maximus I expedition returned with knowledge gleaned from peaceful alien civilizations, further accelerating Earth's technological progress. The Ethonians shared insights into energy manipulation and dimensional physics, while other species contributed advancements in medicine and materials science. Yet not all encounters were peaceful. The Draconis Confederacy remained a looming threat, its leaders wary of humanity's rapid rise. Skirmishes along colonial borders tested Earth's new vanguard corps, proving their mettle against alien forces. Each victory reinforced humanity's resolve to never again be subjugated. In time, Earth's advancements began to attract attention from across the galaxy. Alien species sought alliances with this rising power, intrigued by humanity's unique blend of adaptability and determination. Diplomatic summits were held on neutral planets, where Maximus often served as Earth's representative. But even as humanity ascended to new heights, challenges persisted. The ethical implications of genetic engineering sparked fierce debates. Some feared that the pursuit of perfection would erode what it meant to be human. Others argued that such concerns paled in comparison to the existential threats posed by hostile alien species. Maximus addressed these concerns in one of his final public speeches. "Evolution is not betrayal. It is survival," he said. "We do not abandon our humanity by striving for greatness. We honor it by ensuring our legacy endures." Under his guidance, humanity struck a balance between progress and preservation. Programs were established to ensure that enhancements remained accessible to all, preventing the rise of a genetically superior elite class. Education systems emphasized not only physical and intellectual growth, but also moral responsibility and cultural heritage. By the time Maximus passed away at the age of 112, his lifespan extended by advanced medical treatments, Earth had become a beacon of hope and strength in the galaxy. His funeral was attended by representatives from dozens of alien civilizations, each paying tribute to the man who had led humanity from the brink of subjugation to the forefront of interstellar power. And so humanity continued its journey among the stars, not as conquerors or victims, but as equals in a galaxy teeming with life. Maximus's legacy endured in every colony established, every alliance forged, and every challenge overcome. The galaxy had learned what Earth already knew. Humans were not just survivors. They were unstoppable pioneers destined to leave their mark on eternity. The masters of the galaxy. Decades passed, and humanity's transformation into a galactic powerhouse became undeniable. What had started with Maximus Johnson's legendary victory over the Zorgans had evolved into a cultural phenomenon. Humans were now recognized as the undisputed masters of martial arts across the stars. The very essence of combat had become synonymous with Earth, and its warriors were revered, feared, and sought after by civilizations far and wide. The Cosmic Combat Academy, founded by Maximus in the early days of Earth's rise, had grown into an interstellar institution. Its sprawling campuses dotted planets across human-controlled space, each one a beacon of discipline, skill, and innovation. Alien students from hundreds of species traveled light years to train under Earth's finest instructors. They came seeking not just physical prowess, but the philosophy that underpinned human combat, the balance of mind, body, and spirit. Human martial arts had evolved into something far beyond its terrestrial origins. Techniques once confined to gravity-bound arenas were adapted for zero-gravity environments, alien physiologies, and even combat in hostile atmospheres. The fusion of ancient traditions like Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Kung Fu with cutting-edge biomechanics and neural enhancements created a fighting style that was as adaptable as it was devastating. The Galactic Combat Circuit, GCC, an interstellar tournament that pitted the galaxy's greatest warriors against one another, became the ultimate stage for humanity's dominance. For over 50 years, no species had managed to dethrone Earth's champions. The names of these fighters, men and women who carried Maximus's legacy, became legends in their own right. Their victories were broadcast across the galaxy, inspiring awe and envy in equal measure. But humanity's rise was not without its challenges. The Draconis Confederacy remained a thorn in Earth's side, their pride wounded by repeated defeats in both combat and diplomacy. Rumors swirled of a new draconian initiative, a secret project to genetically engineer warriors capable of rivaling humanity's finest. The United Earth Council took these threats seriously, but remained confident in humanity's ability to adapt and overcome. The final test came when an ancient race, known only as the Clythar, emerged from the galactic core. The Clythar were an enigmatic species shrouded in myth, their existence debated by scholars for centuries. They claimed to have perfected combat over millennia, their warriors said to be unbeatable. When they issued a challenge to humanity, a tournament to determine the true masters of martial arts, the galaxy held its breath. Earth accepted without hesitation. The tournament was to be held on Clythar Prime, a planet whose surface was a labyrinthine arena designed for combat trials of unimaginable complexity. Humanity sent its 5 greatest champions, each one a product of generations of training, augmentation, and unyielding determination. Among them was Elena Ironheart Vasquez, a direct student of Maximus Johnson's teachings and widely regarded as Earth's greatest fighter since his time. The Clythar warriors were unlike anything humanity had faced before. Their bodies were fluid yet solid, shifting forms mid-combat to adapt to their opponent's techniques. They moved with an eerie precision that seemed almost preordained, as though they could predict every strike before it was made. But what the Clythar didn't anticipate was humanity's unpredictability, the creativity born from imperfection, the resilience forged through adversity. Elena and her team fought with a ferocity that left even the ancient Clythar stunned. They adapted on the fly, turning weaknesses into strengths and exploiting openings that no algorithm or foresight could predict. The final match came down to Elena versus the Clythar Grandmaster, a being whose form shimmered like liquid metal under the alien sun. The fight was a spectacle unlike any other, a clash of philosophies as much as physical prowess. For hours they battled across the arena's shifting terrain, their movements a blur of speed and precision. In the end, it was Elena's indomitable will that tipped the scales. With a move inspired by Maximus himself, a combination of raw power and tactical brilliance, she brought the Grandmaster to his knees. The ancient being bowed its head in acknowledgement of her victory. "You have proven yourselves," it said in a voice that resonated across dimensions. "Humans are not merely warriors. You are creators of combat itself. The galaxy is yours to guide." With that declaration, humanity's place as the masters of martial arts was cemented. The Clythar pledged their knowledge to Earth, offering insights into combat philosophies that spanned millennia. Other civilizations followed suit, seeking alliances with humanity not out of fear but respect. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted as news of Elena's victory spread. Statues were erected in her honor, alongside those of Maximus Johnson and other legendary fighters who had paved the way for humanity's ascension. But amidst the triumphs and accolades, there remained a quiet humility, a recognition that mastery was not an endpoint but a journey. Humanity continued to grow stronger, not through domination, but through collaboration and learning. The Cosmic Combat Academy expanded its mission to include not just martial training, but also cultural exchange programs that fostered understanding between species. And so Earth became known not just as the cradle of humanity, but as the cradle of champions, a planet whose people had risen from obscurity to become guardians of balance in an often chaotic galaxy. As for Elena Ironheart Vasquez, she returned home to Earth after her victory on Clythar Prime. Standing before a crowd of millions gathered at Maximus Arena, a stadium named after Earth's first champion, she spoke words that echoed across time. "We are more than fighters," she said. "We are dreamers who refuse to yield." And with those words, humanity's legacy among the stars was sealed, not just as masters of martial arts, but as masters of their own destiny. The legacy of Earth's champions. Years turned into centuries, and humanity's reputation as the galaxy's greatest warriors became more than just a title. It became a philosophy, a way of life. The teachings of Maximus Johnson, Elena Vasquez, and countless other champions were codified into what became known as the way of the human spirit. It was not merely about combat. It was about resilience, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of self-improvement. These principles spread far beyond Earth's borders, influencing not only human colonies, but also alien civilizations that sought to understand the source of humanity's unparalleled strength. The galaxy itself began to change. Where once conflict had been resolved through violence and domination, the presence of humanity introduced a new paradigm. The Galactic Combat Circuit, GCC, once a brutal spectacle of survival, evolved into a forum for diplomacy and cultural exchange. Humanity's champions became ambassadors as much as fighters, their victories often leading to alliances rather than animosity. The Clythar, humbled by their defeat at the hands of Elena Vasquez, became humanity's closest allies. Their ancient knowledge of combat and philosophy merged with human ingenuity to create something entirely new, the unified martial doctrine. This system combined physical techniques with mental discipline and spiritual balance, becoming the cornerstone of education across human and alien societies alike. But humanity did not stop there. The scientific advancements that had fueled their rise continued to push boundaries. Genetic enhancements became commonplace, not just for soldiers but for civilians who sought to live longer, healthier lives. Neural implants allowed humans to share knowledge instantaneously, creating a collective intelligence that spanned the stars. Biomechanical augmentations blurred the line between flesh and machine, enabling feats once thought impossible. Despite these advancements, humanity never lost sight of its roots. The Cosmic Combat Academy remained a sacred institution, its halls echoing with the stories of past champions. Statues of Maximus Johnson and Elena Vasquez stood at its entrance, their likenesses immortalized in gleaming bronze. Every student who passed through its gates knew they were walking in the footsteps of giants. As humanity's influence grew, so too did its responsibilities. The galaxy was vast and filled with countless species, each with its own struggles and ambitions. Humanity took on the role of mediators and protectors, using their mastery of combat not to conquer, but to maintain balance. The Vanguard Corps evolved into the Galactic Peacekeepers, a force dedicated to ensuring that disputes were resolved through honorable combat rather than senseless war. In time, even the Draconis Confederacy came to respect humanity's ethos. Once bitter rivals, they sought peace after centuries of skirmishes. A historic summit was held on Earth itself, where Draconian leaders bowed before the statue of Maximus Johnson in recognition of humanity's strength and honor. It was a moment that symbolized how far both species had come. As the centuries turned into millennia, humanity's legacy became woven into the fabric of galactic history. Entire star systems adopted Earth's philosophies, their cultures shaped by the teachings of its champions. Humans were no longer seen as mere inhabitants of a small blue planet. They were seen as stewards of justice and guardians of peace. And yet, amidst all their triumphs, humanity remained humble. They knew that mastery was not an endpoint, but an eternal journey. Each generation sought to surpass the last, pushing the boundaries of what it meant to be human. In a quiet corner of Earth, now a protected cultural preserve amidst humanity's sprawling interstellar empire, stood Maximus Arena. Though it had hosted countless tournaments over the centuries, it remained a place where young fighters came not for glory, but for understanding. Beneath its towering walls lay an inscription carved into stone. Asterisk, strength is not in dominance, but in perseverance. Asterisk, asterisk, victory is not in conquest, but in unity. Asterisk, asterisk, humanity is not defined by what we are, but by what we strive to become. Asterisk. And so it was that Earth's greatest legacy was not its warriors or its technology, but its spirit, the unyielding belief that even in a galaxy filled with gods and monsters, there was nothing more powerful than the will of a human being who refused to give up. The story ended as it began, with one fighter standing against impossible odds, not for themselves, but for something greater. Humanity had become more than survivors or warriors. They had become symbols of hope for an entire galaxy. And somewhere among the stars, under alien skies, lit by unfamiliar constellations, another young fighter stepped into an arena. Human or alien didn't matter anymore, and raised their fists high. The fight continued. The spirit endured. Humanity prevailed forevermore.